So now that we know the flow of the application, let's go ahead and tweak it to our requirement. The first thing that we'll do is inside the server directory, we'll go to this app.js file, and here you can see we are talking about the routes index file. So here inside routes index.js file, what we'll do is we'll have our own service now that we created in the previous lecture, and we'll be referring it over here. And here we have new implementation for all the get, put, post and delete commands. So we have customers, customer, customer and delete. Now for create we are using put, for update we are using post, and for delete we are using this destroy method. Now once we have our implementation in the routes, the next thing that we do is inside the src directory, we'll go to this api.js file, and here we'll be writing our customer service which the client will be calling. And as you can see, we have updated this with our implementation. So we have customers. When we are creating a new customer. When we are updating a new customer. And similarly on deleting, we are deleting the customer by providing its ID. So here we have our own implementation now in the api.js file. After this, what we need to do is create our own components. Now the first component that we'll be looking at will be the customers component, which will list all the customers available in the Cosmos DB database. So here inside components directory, you'll notice we have this customers.js. So let's open it up. And what this is doing is it is listing out all the customers. So we'll be focusing only on that code block, which is listing out all the customers for now. So when the component did mount, at that time we are calling this api.get, and whatever customers we are getting, we are assigning it to the customers state. And once we have that, what we are doing after this is in our render method, you'll notice we are looping through this one using the map method. So all the collections that we have now, we are iterating each one of them, and then we are having this customer component, which is just listing out all the customers and obviously binding some additional events, which we will be covering in the upcoming lectures. So for now, we just focus on this customer component, and what this is doing is, so when we are calling the customer component, it is basically generating li, and inside that li we have a button which is to delete the customer, and then we have a div which is just displaying all the attributes. So we have customer, ID, name, email and address. Obviously I have not changed the CSS class names just to keep the styling intact, but the form that we will be creating will have additional inputs, for instance address and email, and the same goes over here when we are displaying it. So once we have made all these changes, when we'll run the application, it will look something like this because we don't have any customers as of now. So let's go ahead and try adding one. Obviously we'll be exploring the add functionality in the upcoming lecture, but for now just go ahead and do this. So as you can see, we have the ID, name, email and address. So I filled in some dummy data. Let's go ahead and click on save now, and as you can see, it has been added in our Cosmos DB. To verify this, what we'll do is we'll go to our Visual Studio Code Editor and to the Azure extension. Here we have customers. Let's refresh this now, and there we have Steve coming up inside customers. So these are the fields that we entered via our website, name, email and address, and the same is getting saved in the Cosmos DB. Now in the next one, we'll take a look at how we can add our customer, the one which I just did, and then we'll move on to update and delete, and finally to deployment.